The body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez has been returned to her family more than 2 weeks after she was found dead in the trunk of a car registered to singer David.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
On September 8, 2025, a tow yard worker in Los Angeles approached an abandoned Tesla that had been sitting in their lot for days. The smell hit him before he even got close. When they finally opened the front trunk, what they found inside would shake the music industry and expose a relationship that should have never existed. The body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez lay decomposed inside, and the car was registered to a 20-year-old rising R&B star known as D4vd. But here's what makes this case even more disturbing. Celeste had been missing for over a year. Her family had reported her gone multiple times. And during all that time, people knew. They saw her. They watched this relationship unfold right in front of them, and nobody stopped it. Before we dive into this case, if you're new here, welcome to Mystoracrimes, where we break down the cases that keep you up at night. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Trust me, you're going to want to follow this one. Now, let's talk about Celeste. She wasn't just another statistic or a headline. She was a 14-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore, California, trying to figure out who she was. Her middle school teacher remembered her as sweet, but clearly searching for something. Her ex-boyfriend, Damien, who dated her back in 7th grade, said she had dreams of something serious, something real. She wanted love, wanted stability, but her home life? That was complicated. Riverside County Sheriff's deputies had been called to her house 11 times between February 2024 and April 2025. 11 times. Think about that. This wasn't a girl who slipped through the cracks. This was a girl everyone knew was struggling, and yet somehow she still ended up in the trunk of a car, decomposing for weeks while the world moved on. Here's where it gets darker. Celeste didn't just disappear one day. She ran away multiple times. And each time, she ran to the same place, Hollywood, to the same person. A teacher from her school later came forward and said Celeste had told her she met someone online. His name was David. The police brought her back to school once after she ran away to be with him. But then in May 2024, she disappeared again. This time, she never came back.
Found in the trunk of a car registered to the singer David, detectives have been searching a home where he has lived.
And here's the thing that makes your skin crawl. While Celeste was missing, while her family was frantically searching for her, people were seeing her. D4vd's friend said they saw them together all the time. They thought she was his girlfriend. But get this, they believed she was 19 years old. They thought she was a college student at USC. Nobody questioned it. Nobody asked for ID. She was at clubs, at parties, at events where you had to be 21 to get in, and everyone just assumed she belonged there. So, how did a 20-year-old musician end up connected to a middle schooler? We need to go back to 2022. Yes, 2022. Celeste would have been 11 years old. Screenshots from D4vd's Discord server show him typing Celeste in here, and a username Celeste responding H.I. David Bark. Now, Discord users who've been following D4vd for years are going back through old messages, and they're finding more. Flirty conversations, inside jokes, a relationship forming right there in public, in a server with hundreds of people watching. You might be thinking, okay, maybe they were just friends. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. But Celeste's own mother said her daughter was dating someone named David before she went missing. She never met him, but she knew he existed. And there's more. Both Celeste and D4vd had matching tattoos. SSH tattoos on their right index fingers. Like they were sharing a secret nobody was supposed to know about. By February 2024, people were starting to talk. Someone left a comment under one of D4vd's TikTok posts accusing him of messing with a young teen. That comment sat there for months. Nobody from his team addressed it. Nobody shut it down. And by this time, Celeste had already been reported missing. Her family was looking for her. The police had been to her house multiple times. But D4vd? He was on tour, living his life, building his career. Fast forward to August 2025. A white Tesla sits abandoned on a street in the Hollywood Hills. It sits there so long that residents start complaining. On August 27th, a parking enforcement officer tickets the car and marks the tire positions. That's standard procedure. The car sits there for 11 more days. 11 days in the California heat. Can you imagine what was happening inside that trunk during those 11 days?
Yeah, her name was Celeste Rivas. She was last seen leaving her home here back in 2024. Her family thought she was missing. She was declared missing back then. They had no idea there could even be a connection to the body in the Tesla until they got a call from TMZ last week.
September 8th arrives, and the car gets towed to an impound lot. Workers immediately notice something is wrong. The smell coming from that Tesla is unmistakable. When they open the front trunk, they find Celeste's remains, badly decomposed. So badly decomposed that investigators knew immediately she hadn't been in that car for just 11 days. She'd been there much longer, weeks, maybe months. The medical examiner would later describe finding her head and torso, though the LAPD has been careful about how they describe the condition of her body. Now here's where the investigation gets interesting. The car is registered to D4vd. It's his Tesla. But when police contact him, he's on tour. He's out of state, performing for fans, living his best life while a teenage girl's body rots in his car trunk. He immediately cancels the rest of his tour. His team releases a statement saying he's cooperating with police. And then he does something that tells you everything you need to know about how serious this is. He hires Blair Burke. If that name sounds familiar, it's because she's defended Harvey Weinstein and Kanye West. You don't hire that kind of lawyer unless you know you're in deep trouble. But here's what's driving investigators crazy. They know Celeste died. They know someone put her body in that trunk. They know the car belonged to D4vd. What they don't know is how she died. The medical examiner performed an autopsy and ran lab tests, but the cause of death came back as deferred. That means they need more investigation. They're waiting on toxicology reports. They're analyzing evidence. And until they know how she died, they can't definitively call this a homicide. Technically, it's still just a death investigation. Think about what that means. There's a dead teenage girl in a musician's car trunk, and legally, they can't even call it murder yet. The LAPD captain, Scott Williams, made a statement saying they know for sure that someone placed Celeste's body in that trunk. Someone concealed her there. But who? And why? And how did she actually die? This is where the case gets even more complicated. D4vd hasn't been named as a suspect. He hasn't been named as a person of interest. His lawyer is making sure everyone knows he's cooperating. But let's be real here. His car, his alleged girlfriend, her body in his trunk, and yet no charges.
Detectives have been searching a home where he has lived.
The police executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where D4vd had been staying. They took out computers, evidence bags, everything they could find, but still no arrest. And that's what makes this case so frustrating for everyone watching. We have all these pieces, but they don't quite fit together yet. Let's talk about what people who knew them are saying now. Celeste's alleged brother has been sharing messages online, and what he's saying is chilling. He claims his sister wanted to wait until she was 18 to get married. 18. She was talking about marriage with this guy. When people pressed him for more details about what he thinks happened, he got cryptic. He said he got shot up and mentioned other stuff, but wouldn't elaborate. Now, we don't know if he's talking about D4vd or someone else entirely, but the fact that her own brother believes she was killed should tell you something. And remember that teacher I mentioned earlier? She didn't just say Celeste met someone online. She said the police brought Celeste back to school after she ran away to Hollywood the first time. That means law enforcement knew. They knew a middle school girl was running away to be with someone in Hollywood. They brought her back, and then she ran away again, and nobody could find her. How does that happen? How do you bring a child back from a dangerous situation and then just lose track of her completely? Here's something else that's haunting. Just weeks before her body was discovered, there's video footage of Celeste alive. She's at her family's home, arguing with neighbors over some prank.
Let me talk real quick, okay? You gonna let me talk? I ain't gonna let you talk. No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk?
She came back to visit. She was alive. She was walking and talking and getting into neighborhood drama like a normal teenager. And then suddenly, she's dead in a trunk. What happened in those final weeks or days? That's what investigators are trying to piece together. But now there's a new twist that could change everything. A private investigator came forward just days ago questioning the entire timeline of when Celeste actually died. This PI believes she might have been alive much later than anyone initially thought. If that's true, if the timeline is wrong, then everything we think we know about this case could be backwards. That abandoned car might not have been sitting there as long as we believed. The decomposition timeline might tell a different story. And this is where it gets personal for everyone following this case. D4vd posted a music video before all this happened. And now people are going back and analyzing every frame, every lyric. If the private investigator is right about the timeline, some of the content in that video might not be artistic expression. It might be real life bleeding into his art. Fans are dissecting everything he ever posted online, and what they're finding is making them sick. Meanwhile, D4vd commented "okay" on a TikTok post with a hashtag justice for Celeste before quickly deleting it. Why would you do that? Why engage at all if you're innocent and your lawyer is telling you to stay quiet? That one word, deleted within minutes, tells us he's watching. He's reading everything people are saying. He knows the internet is coming for him. But here's where things get even messier. People online started pointing fingers at D4vd's bodyguard, a guy named Mark Morales who goes by Marky Next Door. This dude is 6'6", worked in personal security, and apparently protected D4vd for about 2 years. Internet detectives started digging through old Discord chats and photos, claiming they found evidence that Morales knew Celeste. They're saying he might have helped cover up what happened. Some people even spread rumors that he was under FBI investigation for accessory to murder. But hold on. Before you run with that theory, Morales came out swinging on social media. He called the screenshots fake. He said he has zero ties to the case. And here's the important part. Those claims about FBI investigations? Completely false. There's credible video evidence where he jokingly confesses to helping David bury her.
You was just with Kaisen last week, bro.
Yeah, I was with Kaisen.
Hey,
listen, did you hear about the David case? The singer.
David with the Celeste in the back trunk.
He was the bodyguard for him.
I helped him bury her. It's crazy.
No.
People took it as truth, but it's internet speculation running wild. And that's dangerous because it muddies the waters of a real investigation. When you throw around fake accusations, you make it harder for law enforcement to focus on actual evidence and real suspects. This is what happens in high-profile cases. Everyone becomes an armchair detective. Everyone has a theory. And sometimes those theories hurt more than they help. Yes, ask questions. Yes, demand accountability. But we have to be careful about spreading unverified information as fact. Real people's lives are being affected by these accusations. And if we're wrong, we're just adding more pain to an already tragic situation. Celeste's funeral happened on October 6th at Queen of Heaven Cemetery in Rowland Heights. Her family finally got to lay her to rest after weeks of waiting for the medical examiner to release her body. Can you imagine that wait? Your daughter is dead. You know she's dead, but you can't even bury her because she's evidence in an investigation. And through all of this, no one has been arrested. No one has been charged. The person or people responsible are still out there. So what does this case teach us? It shows us how easy it is for predators to hide in plain sight. D4vd's Discord server had hundreds, maybe thousands of members. People watched those conversations happen in real time back in 2022. A 20-year-old man was talking to an 11-year-old girl, and it was just there for everyone to see. His friends saw them together constantly and thought she was 19. Nobody verified. Nobody questioned. We want to believe the best in people, especially people we admire. And that's exactly how situations like this happen. It shows us that the system failed Celeste over and over again. Her family called for help. Deputies came to her house 11 times. She was reported missing multiple times. Police brought her back from Hollywood once, and still she ended up dead. At what point do we start asking why these systems exist if they can't protect the most vulnerable among us? Now I want you to think about something. What makes someone capable of putting a teenage girl's body in a trunk and just leaving it there? Is it panic? Is it calculated? And how do you go on with your life? Performing on stage, interacting with fans, knowing what's decomposing your car. What kind of psychology allows someone to compartmentalize like that? Here's another question that should bother you. How many people knew and said nothing? If that Discord evidence is real, people watched this relationship develop over years. At what point does staying silent make you complicit? When do you have a moral obligation to speak up, even if it means going against someone you admire? The investigation is still ongoing. Toxicology results are pending. The cause of death remains undetermined. And somewhere out there, someone knows exactly what happened to Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Maybe it's one person. Maybe it's multiple people. But the truth always has a way of coming out eventually. If this case made you feel something, if it made you angry or sad or frustrated with how our system works, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. What do you think happened? What questions do you still have? And don't forget to subscribe to Mystoracrimes, because we'll be following this case as it develops. When charges are filed, when the toxicology comes back, when justice finally happens for Celeste, you'll hear about it here first. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update. And if you want to see more cases like this, check out the video in the description. Until next time, stay safe out there.